Disney's current trend of adapting their classic animated films to live action has thus far served them pretty well. A mix of nostalgia and brand recognition have made box office smashes out of Beauty and the Beast and The Jungle Book. The success of those explains Disney's eagerness to continue that streak with 3 flagship live-action releases just this year, beginning with Tim Burton's long-awaited Dumbo. But sadly for fans of the original and the lauded director, the uneven and uninspiring offering wasn't worth the wait. Tim Burton's later stage offerings have been a mixed bag, replacing visual ingenuity with a lot of CG. The early trailers and promos for Dumbo hinted that this might be the film to buck the trend, but alas, the faded palette and what looks like massive amounts of post-production work take away much of the visual charm that a circus film by Burton starring Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito promises. Dumbo is also just a generally strange prospect. You can imagine a world where Disney might still make live-action films about fairy tale princesses or jungle creatures, even if their animated counterparts didn't exist. Now, the tale of an early 1900s circus and its mysteriously talented flying elephant feels less likely, and Burton's adaptation does nothing to convince the audience otherwise. Another major problem with adapting Dumbo comes from that very same source material. In the original film, the entire core cast of characters are animals. Rather than going the Jungle Book or Lion King route and creating a CGI roster of creatures, Burton shoehorns in a selection of mostly forgettable human characters who are barely there when it comes to motivation, heart, or wholeness, and seemingly exist solely to push the plot along. The only true standouts here are Nico Parker, who plays the charming, intelligent, and curious Millie, daughter of Colin Farrell's bafflingly bland amputee soldier; Danny DeVito, who keeps the first act alive with a scrappy performance as Max Medici, and is exactly as enjoyable as you'd expect Danny DeVito playing a carnival barker to be; and Michael Keaton, who luxuriates in playing the Machiavellian circus magnate V.A. Vanderveer. The titular elephant turns up pretty quickly and is, depending on your perspective, either very cute or completely terrifying.
What is that?
After the arrival of the big-eared baby, things get pretty rote. There are some things to enjoy as Dumbo moves into its second act, with Burton teasing exciting visuals which hark back to his heyday without ever really delivering. Fans of the original will likely be amused by the nods, which range from interesting diversions to terrifying recreations. One does wonder what drove them to remake this specific story at all. It hints at the flair of Burton's best, but the heart and character on which he built his audience is nowhere to be seen. As the curtains close on Dumbo, we barely know anything about the people and creatures we spent 2 hours with. If you've got a young one who happens to have a specific love for the circus, or you hold particularly fond memories of the Disney cartoon, then maybe Dumbo will hit just right. Otherwise, this film seems like an odd choice that fails to inspire and highlights the weakness of solely relying on brand recognition and nostalgia to sell a blockbuster film. Maybe if Tim Burton had made Dumbo before his Alice in Wonderland phase, it could have had something more interesting to say, or perhaps at least some more original visuals. Sadly, this routine remake does not manage to recapture the surreal strangeness of the original Disney classic, or elevate the dated premise into something better. For more movie reviews, check out what we thought of Captain Marvel and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. And as always, be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.